The head of Mozilla, maker of the Firefox browser, forced to step down because several years ago he was against gay marriage. Brandeis University withdrew an honorary degree to Hirsi Ali, an internationally acclaimed champion of women's rights and a victim of female genital mutilation, because her opposition to Islam was deemed offensive. Free speech is being hounded, demonized, and shouted down by what some call a new left-wing fascism that will not tolerate any views it doesn't like. And if you want a glimpse into how bad it could become in America in the future, look to Europe. In North Korea, they would just shoot you. But in Europe, they brand you a racist. And then you're effectively shunned and blocked from the media. And in most cases, the general public never hears your views. But we're not even talking about real racism. If you're against radical Islam or against immigration, you can be labeled a racist. Wave your nation's flag too much and you're a fascist. Take American conservative values of God, country, and traditional family to Western Europe, and you'd be branded extreme right, anti-woman, homophobic, and even Nazi. And should you be brave enough to actually demonstrate publicly for a conservative cause, you could be physically attacked. Or in Sweden, your home might be wrecked.
You could get beaten up. We see that in Sweden, by the way.
Danish journalist Lars Hedegaard publishes the Scandinavian online newspaper Dispatch International, along with Swedish journalist Ingrid Carlquist.
You have these so-called anti-fascists coming to known sort of right-wingers' homes and wrecking their apartment. Destroy the furniture, the pictures, tear up the books, and, general destruction, and then they make a video of it and put it out on the web. See what we did to this guy.
Under the banner of fighting racism, left-wing radicals terrorize those who dare to speak out against multiculturalism. Kim Mueller is considered the leading expert on the extreme violent left groups in Denmark.
Today they call them anti-racists or fight for a better environment, a more humane society and so on. But the goal is to smash the democracy as we know it.
It looks like that they're against fascism, but you said they're really against parliamentary democracy.
Yeah, they're revolutionary communists. When you talk about revolution in Denmark, people will say crazy. But when we talk about it, when you say you fight racism, suddenly everybody is opposed to racism.
Throughout Western Europe, those who hold to American-style conservative values are the outsiders. Freedom of speech, which is supposed to mean the right to say things the majority doesn't like, is gone in most of Europe, including Britain, according to George Igler of the Discourse Institute in London.
No, Britain is not a country that has free speech. Britain is increasingly not a country that has the rule of law. We have populations who believe that they still have free speech. And then they do something, they just literally tweet something that a politician doesn't like, and a knock comes on the door. And they realize they don't live in the same kind of democracy that they thought they lived in.
Last week in Britain, Liberty Party candidate Paul Weston was arrested for simply publicly repeating the words of Winston Churchill, in which Churchill referred to the curses of Islam. It's a similar situation in France, where libertarian publisher Jean Robin described how the government and the media work to control information and what viewpoints people will see.
You can't really say it's a democracy with free media and a competition. It's an oligarchy. It's not a democracy anymore.
There are still conservative Europeans, and most of them cope by simply not expressing their opinions publicly.
Americans who look at Europe idealistically just don't have a clue.
Christopher Doss trains grassroots political activists for the Leadership Institute near Washington, but he studied at the University of Oslo in Norway and still works in European politics. He says America risks going the way of Europe, especially because most of our universities are training young people to be intolerant.
We're heading in the same direction as we unlearn liberty. As students go through 4 years or more of university college indoctrination, they become inculcated with the notion that all speech shouldn't be allowed.
And if this new fascism is not turned back, life for conservatives in America could become more of a challenge, as it already is for many conservatives in Europe. Dale Hurd, CBN News, Copenhagen.